Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got another pickups video for you here. It's getting pretty interesting out here in the wild lately. Found some pretty cool stuff all around. Not too bad of a deals. Some of them I'll explain a little bit later on, but we're a little bit dicey to start with, but I managed to work things out okay. First thing I wanted to show you here are some NES games that I picked up. Nothing super special, but the reason why I picked these up is just because I basically wanted the dust sleeves off them, although they are pretty minty, so I'll have to check them against my copies and see if they're upgrades or anything like that. But the first one I got here was Duck Hunt for $5, but like I said, I really just want the dust sleeve off of them because I'm trying to get dust sleeves for all of mine, so it's a good way to do this. And then Ice Hockey, which is obviously a true classic. I remember this game from back in the day. This is one of my personal favorites. This was set up at like a local carnival in my little hometown that I was in, and someone had an NES system hooked up, and basically they were charging like 50 cents a play or something like that, kind of like a little arcade setup, and this was one of the games, and people were going nuts to play this because at the time I guess not a lot of people had an NES system handy and all that kind of thing. So that was pretty cool right there. And then another classic here is Blades of Steel. So like I said, I'm grabbing these just for their dust covers. That's the basic idea behind this, just because I can sell those games and recoup the $15 basically that I put into them in order to get the dust sleeves for free, and that's basically the reason why I did that. But that unfortunately for me happened. This was sort of like the leftover. Someone else had already picked through them. I got there like minutes before, and I saw some of the amazing things that they got from the NES pile, and I was a little bit bummed about that. But honestly, it was going to a fellow collector that I know would make good use of them, or at least use them to fund more hunting and collecting for themselves, so not just a reseller all around. So I appreciate the fact that at least he got them, and I although I missed out, I'm pretty happy that I still managed to get something out of the day. So that was pretty decent all around. Next thing I wanted to show you is a couple of garage sale finds. Unfortunately, one of the games is in a system upstairs because my son is using it right now and he's playing it, and that is the Lego video game, Lego the Movie, the video game. That game he's playing right now on the Xbox 360, so I picked up a nice clean copy of that. He's been playing it all day, so it's been thoroughly tested, and definitely worth the $5 I paid for it. I know it doesn't go for much more than that, but my son got $5 of enjoyment out of it guaranteed today because he was firing through it and just enjoying it to no end. So he really likes that movie, he really likes the characters in it, and obviously you have things like Batman and that and whatnot, so he really enjoys it, so I'm happy for him, and I was glad to pick that up at a garage sale for $5. For $2 I picked up Phineas and Ferb Quest for Cool Stuff, which is a platformer game on the 3DS. This one here seems pretty interesting, although albeit like maybe a little bit basic, but at the same time pretty cool. And this one's sealed, so it's never been opened before, and like I said, I got this for $2, so couldn't really turn that away just for a 3DS game that's brand new for $2. So picked that guy up right there. Getting into it, I also stopped into the Value Village, which one of the Value Villages anyways, and usually I don't find much of anything, but just as I was going in, a lady was bringing out one of the carts and was going over to the electronics section, and this is what she was putting up there, and I grabbed it before she could even hang it. She was having a little trouble getting it on the hanger. I was like, you know what, I'll take that. So I didn't grab it out of her hands, but I just basically took it off her before she could even hang it. The thing that I picked up here, if you can't tell from the baggie, and I paid $4 for it, is a gold Wii Plus controller. I don't remember the name of the Pro controller. Pretty cool right there. I didn't have another one of these. Actually, I think I do have one other one, just like a regular white version one, but this is a pretty cool one. It's in decent shape, although there is just some very minor wear on the back there. It looks pretty clean. I haven't tested it yet to totally know that it works, but pretty happy because this is sort of the preferred way I think of playing games on the Wii. I'm not a huge fan of the motion controls, despite the fact that Some of the motion controls are decent, and it depends on the game really. When it comes to like the sports games, like the tennis type things, I don't mind it, but for other games I want to use a controller like this, and so this was a pretty decent find, and it's in pretty great shape overall, so happy to find that one. Moving on from there, this is something I found just a couple hours ago. Basically, we went out for dinner, and across the street was a Value Village, and my son wanted to go into the Value Village and take a look around. And since we basically pigged out at a buffet, we figured the best thing to do would be to walk some of that off. So we walked into the store, and I saw this, and I at first kind of shied away from it. I wasn't really thinking of picking it up because it's way overpriced, but then I remembered that I had a 30% off card in my wallet, so I figured it's a good deal. And then figuring what this game goes for, I decided to grab it, and that is Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. So you can see on there they have a $20 price tag. That's why I call it value pillage sometimes, because honestly that's ridiculous for a video game at a thrift shop. But luckily for me, you know, this game, which is sealed, there's a little bit of a compromise in the seal right at the top there, but otherwise this is brand new, and this brand new I know goes for way more than that. I didn't have it in the collection already, so really sweet find right there. Not really sure a lot about this game necessarily, but you know, it is a Donkey Kong game, so I figured why not, I'd take a shot on it and use my 30% off for cards. I think I got this for something like $13. I'll do the math a little later and I'll let you know exactly what I paid for this, but that's where it's at. So nice little find, considering the fact that I wasn't even really going hunting. I was just sort of stopping in just because the store was right next to where I was eating dinner. So pretty cool right there. And then the other day, at one of my usual haunts, I found this game right here along with the next game I'm going to show you, and that's Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which I don't have any PS4 games. This is my first PS4 game I've ever picked up because I don't even have a system, but you know, I buy my stuff in the wild, I buy my stuff at thrift shops, so this is really the first one I've come across that was really worth picking up, and I thought it was pretty cool. Right there, I'm pretty sure there's a code for it which has like a bonus map. I probably am going to guess that that's already been used up, but there it is right there. So pretty neat all around, and all complete, I guess. Is this as complete as a PS4 game comes? I don't think this one comes with a manual, just the code book inside, so pretty cool right there. I've never really kept up with the first-person shooter type thing, so I don't know if I'm necessarily going to hold on to this, but it is the first PS4 game that I've actually bought from a thrift shop before, so that's pretty cool right there. And then at the same time, this was super bonus find. This is probably, I think, one of the rarest, if not the rarest, games on the Wii U, and that is Hello Kitty Cruisers. So I found this for $5 at a thrift shop, and you know I'm going to pick that up all day long. My Wii U collection is not massive at this point because I'm basically just trying to find things on the thrift or garage sailing or whatever I can on the cheap kind of thing, so I'm not really going into like retail shops to buy my games. And to be able to find this one on the thrift is absolutely phenomenal. This is not by any stretch of the imagination a stellar title. I know it's basically just like a port of a mobile game that you can probably buy for like $1 on like your device sort of thing, but as far as a Wii U release, this one was done, I think, in limited types of runs. I don't know that 100% for sure. It's really hard to say with these things these days when people say words like rare or whatever, but pretty cool right there. And it is complete, like I said, mostly complete. I don't really know. Again, this is instruction manual and there's really nothing inside of it, so that's pretty interesting. But there's the disc right there. The disc on this one does have a small scratch right there on it, but otherwise I think it's perfectly fine, and I could always, you know, run that through the disc resurfacer if I need to. I'd prefer not to if I can keep it from having to be resurfaced, but pretty cool right there. And that one there has the interesting things because it has like a $20 price tag. I know this thing is going well over $100 right now, at least in Canada prices, so really decent find right there, and a welcomed addition to the Wii U collection because I know I'll never have to track this down in the future. So that's everything I got for you this time around. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.